All right. This is DJ REM and the Crushed Beyond Dust show, and I have Mario from the band Memory of a Melody on the line, and I want a big shout out to everybody at Rock Addict Radio and Metal Devastation Radio that's tuned in. So good evening, Mario. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. Why don't you, if you don't mind, introduce yourself to everybody and also the other members of the band that aren't with us tonight?
Absolutely, man. Well, I'm Mario Galders with Memory of a Melody, and we consist of a five-piece. Right now, it's we Iggy on guitar, on lead guitar and backup vocals. We've got Ruel Castillo on rhythm guitar, and Joel Martinez on the bass, and we've been working with Robin Lopez on the drums. So, yeah, man, thanks for having us on the show.
And just so you know, one of the listeners in the chat, her name is Carol. She says, "Hi, Mario. I met you at Rocklahoma."
Oh, that's sick. What's going on? How you doing?
So, actually, I don't know if you remember, but we Rock Addict Radio actually had a booth there and was doing interviews and stuff.
No, of course I remember. That was one of the most memorable events I've done with Memory of a Melody, and actually probably in general. Just such a great experience overall, and everybody, yeah, I mean, you guys were so welcoming and just warm to great to be out there. I mean, honestly, the heat out there was pretty blazing, so they were definitely dedicated, and it was really, really flattering to get to sit down and talk for a little bit. So thanks for shouting out. Appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, so Carol was there. Renee, she's in the chat. She's one of the owners of Rock Addict Radio. She was there talking to you. And Sean was there. And I think Cam, he's actually from a band called Rock and Roll Villain Society. He was there hanging out too. So you probably met all four of those guys.
Yeah, definitely. I remember there was an entire crew there, and I remember getting to meet everybody there. So that's killer. Like I'm all, this is exciting. Everybody's tuning in. That's great stuff.
Yep. Heck yeah, man. So, okay, well, why don't you, what's going on with Memory of a Melody right now?
How about 19 syllables?
That's a lot of M's.
With the name.
No doubt.
We can shorten it to Moam if you want to, man. But got lots of great things coming up. We just released our single for Phantoms and Shadows. That was just been killer. The response has been killer. I mean, honestly, when we finished up that track, it's one of those things where I gave myself warm fuzzies. I'm like, oh God, this is a great song. I was really excited, really enthusiastic to have it shared out and finally get it out there, and even more jazzed about the upcoming music video for it. That's just like putting the visuals behind all the nice little sprinkles of just music and all the good stuff that's on there. So we finally saw a rough cut. It's definitely going to blow everybody away. Just for continuing the development of Memory of a Melody, and we're officially back in the studio. So we've got lots of great things coming up. So far right now. So yeah.
Very cool. What's the ETA on that video? Do you guys know yet?
Honestly, I talked to my video producer here this week, and we're definitely, at the less than 3 week mark. So, we were kind of hoping for a Halloween thing, but at the end of the day, when you don't want to, put something out that you're like, could have been better had we had an extra 2 weeks, so it's just like, just take what you need. Let's make this the best freaking video that, we can, and let's slam it all over the place once it's out, and, I'm sure it'll do just as good as it would have done had it been on Halloween. So this will be like, Nightmare Before Christmas. That's what Phantoms and Shadows is going to be all about.
Okay, badass. I actually just got that track about a week ago, and it's killer, and I've been playing that on my show, and then I always have to play Things That Make You Scream, because that's like my favorite track.
Oh, that's a great, man. And that's it was funny because when Yvonne, obviously, who kind of puts these things, helps coordinate our interviews and everything, and I'm very thankful for her. That was one of those things when I set it up for her. I was like, the feeling I got with Things That Make You Scream is the same feeling I got with Phantoms and Shadows. It's a very, there's a lot of emotion in there. There's a lot of just really, really cool moments. So, yeah, man, definitely excited just about everything.
Yeah, and I'm stoked to see the video, so I can't wait for that to come out. So, how long has Memory of a Melody been together?
Well, going on this coming up year is going to be 6 years. I've been plugging away at it. It wasn't always the Memory of a Melody that it is now. Obviously as every band starts in the development stage, but in 2010 we went into the studio with our producer Brian Scott to record Things That Make You Scream, and from there, I mean, it was pretty clear that the evolution of the Memory of a Melody was to go in the direction of Things That Make You Scream in that entire album, and obviously what we're doing now. But it's been a great road. I mean, had lots of great opportunities. Obviously, we just talked about Rocklahoma. That's probably again one of the most memorable experiences I've ever had. Just getting out there, getting to be a part of something that huge, was really an honor. And coming back to our hometown in San Antonio and getting to do a very similar show, River City Rock Fest, so that was kind of cool too. So just all the things that have come from our album, Things That Make You Scream, and over the last 6 years, it's been a real, we feel like we have just a great amount of accomplishments, and it's not going to stop. Definitely have a lot of good things on the horizon. With the release of the album, and of course, I do this show called Melody Fest, so that's going to be something else that's going to be coming up too. So.
Yeah, well, very cool. And have to let you know that one of the listeners, actually one of our DJs at the station, Werewolf, he just typed in the chat. He said to tell you that Jackie Tiger Angel says hi.
Jackie Tiger Angel. All right. Well, what's up? How's it going?
So, another Memory of a Melody fan.
Absolutely. No, it's an honor. It's really an honor to have so many supporters and so many listeners all over the place, and especially the crew from all the stations. Just you guys are just so, we couldn't do without you. I mean, we're plain and simple. It's the future of radio. I mean, internet radio is really where it's at. I strongly believe that. And, again, it's one of those things. My hats off to everybody who definitely supports Memory of a Melody and the Things That Make You Scream.
Exactly. Well, you know what? It's all a big circle. You got the bands, you got the online stations, and the fans. I mean, you take one piece away and you have nothing. So it's a big circle, man.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. It's a harmonious relationship for sure, and so I'm glad it always works out. And that's awesome, man.
Me too. So so back when you guys started this band, I mean, what kind of brought everybody together to do this?
What brought everybody together to do Memory of a Melody? Is that
yeah.
Well, I mean, back in 2008 when we first started, it was a completely different lineup. I'm the only original member. I had this vision to start something that was going to be, and I'm about to explain the name, but it'll segue itself together here. But I wanted to do something that was different, something that a lot of rock music is kind of almost it's got a formula, and we have our own little thing that we do, but wanted to take it back to being memorable. A lot of songs just kind of like one hit wonders, and it's like whatever happened to that band. It's like, why can't there be a band, or whatever? I can't, I write music that, every song has just a little moment even, that'll stick in your mind after, even if you, after the first time you listen to it, or the second time you listen to it, you catch something else. And, so we started working with this drummer, found some members, and kind of started getting it going. It gained some traction in our hometown, played some really cool shows, got some opportunities to open up for some national acts, Chevelle and 10 Years and whatnot. And, everybody has their own prerogative, like how far they want to take it. So, some members were really focused on starting a family, and that's great, very, very, it's good, to have family, but, I wanted to keep it going. So, in late 2009, Wade, our guitarist, he came into a jam, and that guy was ridiculous. You know, it went from like, hey, let's just audition this guitarist to kind of just standing there in awe. Like, you know, he totally was one of those guys who downplayed himself. He's like, you know, I'm all right. You know, like I've been playing for a while, but you know, I did this b-boy thing, and you know, so it's whatever. You know, and then he comes in and he blows us all away, and we're kind of like, holy crap, you know, really? Like, so it was an obvious choice to get him in the band, and he was excited about it. He was excited about developing something. Shortly thereafter, Rowell was, you know, we found him on Craigslist. Actually, Wade was from Craigslist as well, so we're kind of a pseudo Craigslist band. And Rowell was really motivated, you know, just kind of in a phase of his life where he's like, you know, I want to do something that's just, you know, it's next level, you know, like we're really ready to take it. So, you know, we had a solid foundation of musicians and writers. And then we just, you know, obviously you got to have the backbone. We got Robin, and then we got Joel, and pretty much everything just came together. I mean, it was really, really pretty awesome just to have everything come together as it did. And anyway, so that's kind of the motivation behind it. You know, we've, you know, continued to wanting to, you know, stay true to the roots of, you know, remaining melodic but memorable, and obviously we have our edginess as well with, you know, not only things that make you scream and phantoms and shadows between the eyes, you know, just kind of a little bit of a little taste of everything that will get people up and moving.
Okay, very good. So I got to ask you, what kind of influences have you had in your life that made you want to get into music and do something like this? What kind of, you know, growing up or even now, I guess?
Well, man, you know, I've definitely shared this a couple times, and it's funny. It always makes everybody chuckle. But you know, as a kid, you know, it's one of those things where the moment I saw Michael Jackson, of all people, was really an inspiration to me. Like just his show and the way he moved and how, you know, the production and his, you know, when he played and just the emotion behind everything he did. It's like everything had a purpose, and it's just like, I was like, God, that guy is just, he's iconic, you know. And then, you know, as I got older, you know, I started listening to Aerosmith and White Zombie, and you know, just kind of segued me into like Pantera and stuff. And I was like, God, this music, like this rock music, is just, you know, it's just so incredible. And you know, I was born in El Paso, Texas, so it's one of those things where, you know, there's a lot of hip hop, a lot of rap over there. I mean, it's actually a lot of metal, but you know, just the people I was exposed to weren't really into that at all. So you know, I'm like listening to, you know, the mix stations and the you know, the hip hop stations, and I moved to San Antonio when I was like 11 or 12 years old, and I just remember everything was rock music, metal music, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the way it made me feel, and you know, just it made me want to play. And so yeah, man, like, you know, you got the Michael Jacksons, the Aerosmiths, and the White Zombies, and the Pantera, and here I am.
Well, that's badass, man. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So maybe you've already touched on this, but what do you guys have going on? What do you have lined up for live shows right now? You got anything coming up?
Nothing coming up. We had a couple things kind of in the works, but nothing, you know, ready to be, you know, officially announced. Definitely kind of pretty much wrapped up for 2013. Really going to be focusing on 2014, and you know, just trying to build that first quarter. And you know, again, we're still kind of trying to focus on studio. You know, sometimes it can get tricky with, you know, trying to just bang out, you know, really, really good songs and really well thought out songs, and then trying to play shows as well. So it's always just finding that balance. But you know, we definitely plan on heavily touring with the new record, which tentatively right now is self-titled. So Memory of a Melody is a Memory of a Melody record. And so that's essentially the plan, you know, and hopefully we can do, like I mentioned, the Melody Fest at the beginning of the year when we release that record. So that's going to be the plan.
Okay, well, very good. Well, if you guys are coming to Michigan, please let me know.
Oh man, we need to make it to Michigan for sure.
I would love to come see you guys for sure, certainly.
Yeah, no, I definitely would love to go to Michigan. We've got a lot of got some pretty loyal fans out there, and actually one loyal fan had just moved out of there. But it's yeah. I mean, we definitely you will be on the map when we start traveling.
Have you guys ever played at Planet Rock in Battle Creek?
No, honestly, we've actually never made it to Michigan.
Oh, okay. Well, then that answers that.
That's why it's definitely not necessarily on the bucket list. It's on the bucket list like 14,000 times. Like we will have to go and then just keep going back, man, because it's yeah. Anyway, we've got a lot of support out there, and very, very thankful for you and all the Michigan crew.
Okay, well, myself and Michigan crew looks forward to you making it to Michigan so we can come see you live and buy you a beer.
No, it's awesome. I've heard Planet Rock is pretty killer though, so that's definitely the spot I'm going to be trying to seek and find if we can make our way in there.
Okay, very good. So how has this whole with the band and making this work has everything worked pretty smooth through the years, or has it been kind of a rough road for you guys? I mean, obviously you mentioned you're the only, from back when you started, you're the only remaining member, so obviously that was a little tough.
Yeah, definitely. It has its moments where you're kind of trying to figure out, why things like that keep happening, and then you start talking to people, you meet people, and you're like, oh, it happens to everybody. Got it. I mean, if you look at pretty much any band that's out there right now, there's it's rare if you find one that has every single member that it started with. But, like I said, everybody has different life goals. People lose the interest, lose the motivation, lose the inspiration. And that's hard, and you can't fault somebody for that. But, at the same time, on my end, it's like, okay, well, I get it. But I want to keep moving forward. And, obviously Wade and Roel are part of that team along with Joel, and trying to get everybody just going. I mean, we even now we still have our moments where things aren't always easy. When even drummers and trying to get everything just keep it cohesive so that you can do everything that you need to do as a band. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's all done for love. It's an art, and you when you passion something, you're it's amazing what a human can do. You're just relentless about it, and so I'm definitely not going to paint the picture that we're the perfect band that just nothing ever goes wrong, and we smooth sailing all the way. You have your road trips where you get in the car and it has issues, and you run out of gas. That's always my issue, man. Like, you put me behind the wheel, I just do not look at the gas meter. I'm like, go. I just want to go. I want to get there. I'm like, you need gas. That's not good, because obviously that causes delays.
Right.
And, I'm obviously giving you a silly example, but no such thing as everything always being perfect. But nevertheless, it's a blessing that we definitely have the support, and that's where the motivation keeps coming from. It's like if it was one of those things where, like, you guys suck and just, like, really need to reevaluate your thing, it'd be a whole different thing. But, we've gotten really positive feedback from all over the world, and that's, to me, that really says a lot. And, it's enough to definitely keep doing this for years to come.
Okay, well, very good. And I just have to throw out there, any band that says that everything is picture perfect, they're lying.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, that's, like, yeah, you can quote me on that forever. Like, that's just reality. Like, the reality behind it is that, just like all of us have, our own issues in life and, our personal lives or whatever, like, it's not exempt if you're in a band.
Right. Exactly. It's probably worse if you're in a band.
Yeah, I think so. I was like, it's probably actually, yeah, got its moments where you're like, this relationship sucks.
Right.
But, I mean, that's, the important thing, and I think the thing that you learn the most as you mature in the band, because that's truly what I've in my perspective right now, where I'm at with Memory of a Melody, is that you just mature. You continue to mature just as you would, in your personal life, or as going into adulthood, you mature. So I'm in a almost 6-year-old band, and obviously I've got my life experience to kind of back me up with it. But taking perspective on the whole thing now is just like, I love this, and regardless of what happens, like, I want to keep doing it. Like, there's just no, you can't look back, and you can't. You just, sometimes you want to question yourself, but you just can't look back. I mean, it always ends up working itself out, especially if you have that passion and that artistic vision to keep moving forward.
Oh yeah, it's all about the passion, man, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So, back to the chat room for a minute. Irish Kitty, she's tuned in. She wanted me to tell you, she says hi. She's digging the interview. And then another fan, she says it's Gloria from Beaumont, Texas. Glad I caught your interview. So.
And Irish Kitty. I like that name, Irish Kitty. That sounds hot and Irish at the same time.
Yeah, right? Okay, so where is a good place for people to find out more about Memory of a Melody? What websites and social networking do you guys use?
Absolutely. Well, just like everybody else will, but, we definitely want you to start out with the website. So I'm not sure if everybody else has a website, but, I was going to lead into the Facebook, but I decided to go to the website first because if you go on the website, you can check everything out. So it's memoryofamelody.com, now that I've hyped that up. It'll segue you into anything that you want to find out about Memory of a Melody, including links to our Facebook, which is facebook.com/memoryofamelody. We have our Twitter on there, twitter.com/memoryofamelody. We have links to our iTunes, Amazon pages, Spotify. You can also go to reverbnation.com/memoryofamelody, grab some free downloads from our album Things That Make You Scream. And then, of course, youtube.com, just because YouTube's a great place to just check out the band and see what we look like and, what kind of shirt Wade wears, or what kind of, whatever he's doing. But anyway, it's youtube.com/memoryofamelody. But, again, I like to reference memoryofamelody.com because you can get to all those websites just by going there, and also pick up our merch on there, which is all official merch. We usually send out a lot of goodies, so if you order a shirt, you're not just going to get a shirt. You're going to get, a shirt and, tattoos and, free download cards and stuff, so, be sure to take advantage of that.
Well, that's very cool. And I have to ask you...
Uh-oh.
No, it's not a bad thing. I'm always curious to know what recording studio do you guys use?
Well, our producer Brian Scott owns the Progression Lab, based out of actually, conveniently enough, here in San Antonio, Texas. So it's called the Progression Lab, and again, our producer Brian Scott, he's formerly of the Union Underground and current Cult to Follow frontman. So, yeah.
Okay, very good. So what are your goals for the future? Where do you hope to have Memory of a Melody in a couple years?
Man, hopefully playing some arenas, but honestly, the goal is obviously not only to release this next upcoming record, really support the heck out of it. That's something that we strongly believe that we need more support than what we've already done, and that's it's part of being a working band. Honestly, being as a goal, a true goal, jumping on a tour with a reputable national band on, a good, month or two run, to where it's something that we can even do some pretty heavily traveling, whether it be here in the United States or even going overseas as well. We're really open to all that. So that's definitely the goal. Hopefully less than a couple of years, maybe more like a year. Couple of years, world domination, freaking Metallica status. I don't know.
World domination is always good.
Yeah, come on,
It's always a great goal.
Something simple, world domination.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't sound like a huge thing. I mean, whatever,
So who would your dream band to be on the road with be?
Dream band, if I'm handpicking a band, it'd probably end up being Korn, just because God, I love those guys, and it's one of those things where I've always it seems like it'd be a perfect fit. That's just, for me, again, that's my dream band. What is the mega band that I could play with? If I was to put some mega band in front of that, it'd probably be a Metallica. Just because I don't even know if you can get. I don't even know what's bigger than Metallica besides Kiss, and
yeah, right.
I don't even know if Kiss is bigger. I look at all those as iconic bands, Kiss, Metallica, and Iron Maiden. So if we got to that status, that would be incredible as well. But come on, I would definitely be down for Korn. That would be pretty killer.
Very good. Okay, so speaking of other music, if I grabbed your iPod or MP3 player, however you like to listen to music, what bands would I find you listening to right now?
Man, I was just telling Wade last night, we got together to try to, we're working on some new stuff, like I mentioned. I've really been into Ghost. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but
yep.
That's just a freaking phenomenal band. Like, they're so different, and it's just refreshing to hear something that's that different. At least to me, it's really different. So Ghost is on there. I've got some buddies. They're a little more on the indie side. Catharsis. Those guys are killer. They've got this record out right now that they're jamming. So you definitely hear the new Korn. You definitely hear some of the newer Linkin Park stuff. You'd hear some. Man, I'm trying to think of what else I just bought. I bought a ton of stuff recently. I had threw some Pussifer on there. Obviously Avenged Sevenfold, and I got a ton of stuff on there. Actually, I just saw this AWOL Nation show, and this shows how diverse my stuff is. But really like those guys. That was a really jamming band. Obviously it's not metal or anything like that, but they were just so rocking. So that was really cool. But yeah, that's the short list of stuff I'm listening to right now.
All right, that's cool. And then when you guys aren't, you know what? I did forget to ask you. How often do you guys get together and practice?
We're on the 2-week schedule. Trying to I think more than that right now. We might well, not that we don't get along or anything like that, but when you're kind of going into writing stuff together, you want to have time to get together, work out parts and stuff like that, go back home, kind of do your own thing, and then get back together again, work out more parts. It's kind of like a pattern, just you develop a system to where it's, it just works out well, doing it like that, because you get a little bit of free time in between there to kind of focus on whatever it is that you wanted to work on, because you're not always going to just jam out like the final result. So you just, kind of perfect it in between days and whatnot. So
right, that makes sense. And then what's the process for writing new music for you guys? Is there someone that kind of takes the lead in the writing, or is it kind of a collaborative effort? How do you guys do that?
I'm not going to ever say that there's really a formula, because it can be all over the map a little bit. There's for Scream, Roel, Wade, and I took a lot of, just took a huge role in writing it collaboratively, and then I'd write a song, just kind of like, hey, here's a song that I just came up with from the ground up, and it's like Wade does his thing to Wadeify it, and Roel does his Roel thing, and we put drums and bass and all that stuff to it. Some songs, Wade's even, obviously he's written a couple songs just all the way through, and they come out great, lyrics and everything. So it's kind of cool, and it keeps it fresh. Just never the same formula. Like, hey, we're gonna do this, and this. It's like the couple songs we're working on right now are a collaborative effort. We've been working on like 3 that we all just kind of sat in a room together, and we're working out parts, like I just mentioned, like the get together, take a day off, get together, take a day off, or a couple days off, and work it out. So yeah, I can't tell you there's necessarily a formula, but it's definitely we all definitely play a part in it for sure.
Hey, well, very cool, and I appreciate you sharing that. I always I'm intrigued when I ask that question to bands because every band has such a completely different answer to the way the process works for them. It's cool to hear all the different variables.
Well, it's cool that there are different variables. I mean, because if you have you end up kind of with one thing every single time, and all of us have such big different. We all have major influences here, just very different. Like I just mentioned that I like AWOL Nation and some pop stuff. I mentioned Michael Jackson in there, and that's like I'm a huge fan of pop music. I'm a huge fan of I am a huge fan of mixed music still. And although Wade and Roel definitely like music like that, like they're more predominantly into metal. They're more predominantly into just heavier rock, and it's cool. It's really, really cool when you kind of put us all in a room together because we kind of have so many different views, but it just works.
Right? Exactly. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, for sure.
Oh, and there's another question from the chat room. Irish Kitty, by the way. She wants to know, where are you guys from?
We're from San Antonio, Texas. So yeah, I mean, actually, not. I was born in El Paso, but I'm officially from San Antonio. Wade is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Moved over to San Antonio, I think 6 years ago, and then Roel is from the Valley, and he's from the Valley of San Antonio, which is like the McAllen, Harlingen, Texas area. And he moved here, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, and the rest of the guys are from San Antonio. So, yeah, it's San Antonio based, for sure.
Okay, very good. So, what sets Memory of a Melody apart from all the other bands out there trying to make it big, make something of themselves? What are people going to get, when they listen to your music, and what are they going to get when it comes to you guys live?
I mean, it's hopefully you'll get one hell of a show. I mean, we love performing. I mean, that's where our heart is. We put a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of dedication into making it a real experience for everybody. Just getting people involved, getting them to interact with us on a live show level. And we love. Like I mentioned before, I'm a huge production fan. So we have some lights, we've got some smoke, we've got some cool little ambient things that just add value to the shows in general. On a record level, I mean, you can definitely expect to hear a very professionally recorded record that's just it's going to have something for everybody, and that's what I've always told everyone. We might not be the band that you're like, oh my God, I love every single song because that's my flavor. But I guarantee you, we have something that will appease to your flavor. So I mean, for the metal listener, I mean, you can pretty much think that you're going to like the majority of our stuff. We've got some slower songs as well that we have people who might be into more easy listening that take a liking to that as well. So something we're really proud of is that we can flirt a little bit with everything, but still sound like one band, which is obviously Memory of a Melody.
Very cool. A band that and this is just my personal opinion, that I think you guys would have a killer show with, and I don't know if you know these guys, but the band Surrender the Fall.
I've been hearing them a lot, man. I've been hearing that name a lot. So
I think you guys would.
I really need to make a bigger effort to check out more of their stuff. But yeah, that's I'm definitely down and to check that out for sure.
They like to play Planet Rock. Just hint, hint.
Okay, you're like, and here's their contact information.
Yeah, pretty much. No.
Just saying, Yeah.
Oh, okay, and Renee, who you met at Rocklahoma last year, she wants to know, and I don't know if I'm actually supposed to ask you this, but I'm going to. She says, what makes Mario scream?
Oh, man. What makes me scream? Besides the band, just being surprised, discovering something I've never seen before that fascinates me. I mean, that just really it's almost like impressive. You know, I mean, yeah, that answer could go lots of ways. I'm like, so, you know, use your imagination.
Okay, that works.
I love
So, what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you at a live show you've done that you're willing to share?
Man, besides the bras getting thrown on stage and, you know, just, yeah, underwear kind of getting flown everywhere and, you know, besides, you know, the pot smoking and the mosh pits and the, you know, the people just screaming, you know, for you and, you know, screaming after you because you have them do that. You know, let's see what else. Yeah, I'm not sure if anything crazy has ever really, you know, if you don't consider that crazy, then I'm not sure, you know, just good old-fashioned rock and roll, you know. I mean, you know, I will tell you a story. Okay, this is kind of cool. We, so I mentioned earlier that Wade's you know, he's a former b-boy, so he, you know, used to break dance, and he was really serious about it. I mean, honestly, like he toured the country, like, you know, I went to Canada.
Oh wow!
Did some really killer things with b-boying, and you know, they were on top. So he was like the rock star in the b-boy world, you know, some years back. And so anyway, you know, years later, we're in Memory of a Melody, and you know, we're talking about it. I mean, all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, this guy does a flip, like a back flip, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I'm like, you need to do that at the show. Like, you need to incorporate that to the show. So, you know, bright idea here. Let's, at the next show we do, let's stack our God pods, little glory boxes that we stand on, you know, just to kind of elevate ourselves. Let's stand on top, let's stack them on top of each other, and you do a backflip over it, you know, and while you're playing, and it'll be killer. It'll be amazing. Like, it'll be an amazing, you know, it'll look awesome. So we set the whole thing up. You know, he had rehearsed it like all of once, you know, and you know, so killer moment. Does the backflip, but the box, you know, slid out from the top of it, and he basically lost his balance, slammed his face against the guitar, and like got this huge welt, you know, and that was just ridiculous. I mean, like, he stopped playing. I'm like, the band was still going. I'm looking at him like, that's rock and roll, man. I'm like, you know, what's going on? And then, like, it kind of clicked, like, holy crap, he's actually hurt, you know? Like, so, you know, we finished the song, wrapped it up, and, you know, I was like, well, you know, we had one more song, which is, like, the song we were just really, really proud of at the time, like, you know, kind of a jam song where everybody sang along to it. And we end up going into the song, and then, you know, basically we're at this little bar. He gets on the bar, we just start rocking out, we close it out. So it was just crazy. Like, it was crazy that, you know, this guy's like got this huge welt, he's bleeding, and he's still playing, and we close it out, and anyway, the people went nuts, so it was cool.
That is a pretty cool story, for sure.
Yeah. So
did he ever try the backflip again?
Yeah, it's a negative. You know, yeah.
I didn't
sure
think.
He's never gonna, you know, I'm not sure he's done a backflip since then.
Right? He's been scarred for life on backflipping.
Yeah, especially holding a guitar. And it's not even that he hit his head on the floor. It's just like he slammed his face on the guitar because he was trying to catch himself.
Right.
So that was pretty nuts.
So when you were at Rocklahoma, did you get to meet Korn?
No, unfortunately, we played the Friday show with Guns N' Roses, Bush, and just, you know, the handful of other amazing bands that were on the bill that night. So we didn't get to meet him because we actually had to drive back to San Antonio. We drove back that Saturday morning, got back that afternoon, and, you know, had to just try to rest up a little bit because we had the show with Guns N' Roses, and that almost a very similar lineup. Alice in Chains was actually the second major band that was on that one here in San Antonio. So we did not get to meet them, but, you know, it's you know, I'm sure it'll have its day. You know,
right.
I'm not too worried about it. You know, that's sure it's since it's on the list, I shall make that happen.
Very cool. Well, I mean, you got to play with Alice in Chains. I mean, that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, man.
Really, that's pretty damn cool.
Did Guns N' Roses a couple nights. Did so just so many great bands. On both those shows. It was just such a great experience for sure.
Okay, very good. Okay, now it is time for the most important question of the interview. So hope you're ready.
All right, I'm ready, man. Bring it.
Who in the band spends the most time in front of a mirror before you guys go on stage?
I'm gonna have to. He's probably gonna shoot me if he's listening right now, but I'm probably gonna have to say Roel. He's got to get the hair. He does this thing with the hair. Like, Wade's got no interest in, doing his hair. We all, get ready in a dressing room and whatever. But, Roel has, like the gel, and he, puts it a certain way, and then combs it, and then, and it's, it's got to stay there, and then, and he goes back, and he's, combs it again. And yeah. So I'm going to go with Roel on that one. I've got no hair, so I've got nothing to worry about, man. If I'm usually checking in the mirror, it's usually just to make sure that, I don't have, a freaking stupid stain on my shirt or, odor or something,
Hey, well, you know what? I cannot fault him for being concerned about his hair. It's extremely important, so.
Yes, the hair is important.
Yes, definitely. Okay, is there anything else you would like to tell the listeners and then everybody, and the people that'll hear this when it's uploaded to YouTube and get to listen? Anything that I have not asked you want to make sure people know about Memory of a Melody?
Man, all I can truly say, and I think I said it, but I'm going to say it again just because it means so much to me that, thank you. Thank you, first of all, and then thank you, everybody, for listening and tuning in and interacting and asking questions. That definitely makes it really, really enjoyable. I had a great time on this interview for sure, but, just thank you for all the support. And, we definitely love everybody and, want to, for everybody who hasn't gotten the chance to see Memory of a Melody, we really hope to be in your town very soon.
Okay, man. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to call into the show, because that's killer. And I want to thank Yvonne for hooking us up, because I've been a fan of you guys for a long time. I've been listening to you guys for, I don't even know how long, but ever since I found you quite a while back. And then when I saw...
We were a band.
What's that?
Even before we were a band, maybe you were thinking about Memory of a Melody.
Sure, why not?
Just kidding. But thank you, man. That really, really means a lot. Like I mentioned, it hasn't always been the easiest road, but it's definitely been a road that, I would do it again if we needed to, man. This is I'm very happy with where we're going, and, just when you have killer fans and killer support, it's all the more motivation to just keep that fire burning strong.
All right, everybody. Once again, big, huge thank you to everybody at Rock Addict Radio and Metal Devastation Radio for tuning in tonight and getting to hang out with me and Mario and listen to the interview. And definitely a big, huge shout out to everybody in the chat that was shooting questions out, because that makes my job easier. And it's nice to get that interaction with the band when they're on the phone. So there you have it, Memory Melody, right here on the Crush Beyond Dust Show.